Campsites on a backpacking trip can make or break your trip. There are so many variables that come into play: terrain, water sources, exposure to the elements, and much more. So in this video, I'm teaming up with my good friend and former wilderness guide, Eric Hansen, to show you our real-time process, how we find the best campsite possible while on trail.
So first thing is I'm gonna look at my navigation, and I'm gonna open up Onyx, and you can see this red dot is us, and we've already hiked this path. The dotted line is where we've hiked. Now we're backtracking, and we'd like to camp, obviously in a flatter area, preferably near water. We just passed a creek here, but not the greatest place to camp. So a little bit further down the trail, about 1,000 yards away, is this creek here, and the satellite imagery shows that it looks pretty flat actually. Doesn't look terrible.
How do you tell what's flat versus what's got a slope?
You just had to do that, didn't you? Yeah. You look at the topographical portion of the map. So these lines here, it's actually a little bit easier if I click this button. I go straight to topo, and these lines show you as they get narrower, that's steeper, and you can see the elevation sort of written down here. So that's 11.8, and that's 11.6. Okay, so I'm getting a message. So it looks like it's going down, and they go down by about 50 or sometimes 100-foot increments, and you can kind of get an idea of what the terrain is going to be like. It's very, very nice.
Future Dan here. One thing that I totally forgot to mention in this whole process, and I'm actually back at my house right now. You can totally do this whole campsite thing on your own with like an old school map, a compass, whatever, just sort of surveying the area, or maybe looking at Google Maps or something. But Onyx Backcountry, which is the platform that we used to find all of what we're showing you, is super cheap, and they're the sponsor of this video, and they actually support my channel and make it almost entirely possible to make these videos. So I'll put a link in the description below for 20% off of Onyx, and if you could please just go ahead and get yourself a membership, that'd be hugely beneficial to supporting this channel and supporting everything that we do. And it makes it super easy to actually make this a reality for what you're watching this video for, which is to find a campsite and do it the right way, the easy way. So Onyx Backcountry, description below, go check it out. Now back to me trying to find a great campsite.
So anyway, Eric Hansen's the cameraman.
I fired Emmett and I said, I'm taking your job. So that's what's happening here. That's why I'm here. Hey.
Yeah, so I apologize ahead of time. Let's go find camp, and I will let's go find camp, and I will show you what my procedure is to find the best campsite possible for a perfect night and campsite. So we are at the spot where the creek is. There's a drainage there, it's flowing, and I actually think possibly right down in here would be a good spot because there's tree coverage, and it looks like there might be some dirt, or it could be rock, but I'm hoping it's dirt back in there. Looks like it could potentially be flat, so let's go scope it out.
Quick question, Dan. Why do you want tree coverage?
Because tree coverage is less wind, potentially less rain, shade if it's super sunny. It's just the exposure of the elements goes away to a degree. So tree coverage is typically good.
Let's go.
Okay, here is a potential issue I see already. There's a lot of taller grass here. That poses a couple problems. One is I'm from Wisconsin, and grass like this is like tick heaven. So I see grass like this, it just automatically is like, eh. The other thing is if you pitch a tent on grass like this, you're like guaranteed to get condensation inside of your tent. So that could be a problem. So we're gonna keep walking and hope that the tree coverage maybe provide enough shade to sort of kill off growth and the grass is a little bit less, but we won't know that until we get a little further. Oh yeah, I'm liking this already. The whole area looks, I mean, the grass is still a little bit taller, but that just looks so pretty back there, and it looks flat, and it does look like the grass is lower there, and the views other directions look pretty awesome. So let's keep moving. Right here, right where we just walked into this area, it already looks like you can set up a tent here. So the reason I like this spot, very little grass, It's dirt, so I know I can get tent stakes in the ground. Looks very flat. One of the big mistakes that I see people make when they're choosing their campsite is they pick a area that's on a slope just because it looks like it's big enough for their tent. And they set up their tent and that's it. They think they're gonna have a great night's sleep, and then they don't because their blood is rushing to their head or they're rolling off the pad. It's just like sitting up in a recliner trying to sleep. It's all night long, it's miserable. So this does look pretty flat. I would say, if anything, this right here is already a winner for a camp, for a spot to set up a tent, and you could still like go off over that way and have lunch or whatever you want to do. So this whole area so far, I'm liking it. But this is only pretty much one tent, and Eric needs a tent. So yeah, we gotta find 2 spots.
Yeah, I'm not bunking up with you.
Yeah, you're definitely not bunking up with me. Yep, I can already see somebody's camped here. There is a small fire ring here, not even what's left of a fire ring, and there's some coals here, and it looks like another one's over there. So yeah, man, there's 10 spot. I can see them from here. This is a total win. I think this is a great spot to camp. Views look good. Tree coverage is decent. It's gonna block some of the wind that might come barreling through here. Yeah, this is a win. What do you think?
I think it looks great. You have so many mosquitoes on you.
Do I really?
Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah, you really do.
Good thing I permethrined my clothing.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
That could be another factor where to choose to camp. Is,
yes, it could. Yeah. I think here though, mosquitoes are. We're just gonna get mosquitoes no matter what. Every place we've been in the.
Oh, there's just
in the probably, I don't know how many miles we've hiked. Right, another 3 miles that way or something like that. There's, there and back, it was all mosquitoes. Even up at 12,000 feet, and we're probably at, what are we at? We're about almost 1,000. Well, we're like 800 feet lower than we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with mosquitoes.
They're just gonna be everywhere. It is what it is here.
It's time of year.
Yep.
So I'm looking for what I like to see are spots like right here where it's sort of sloped up and flat, because that's going to tell me that if it does rain, it's not going to pool up under my tent most likely. So if I'm in an area where if I was going to camp at the bottom of that slope, potentially rain could pool up and get under my tent, and definitely don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm kind of walking around just scoping it out. And also, the further you walk, sometimes like you could have picked that tent spot right when we walked in, and you're like, oh, this is it, I'm done, I'm great. You get all set up, oh, let me go walk around and check some things out, and you're like, oh, I should have camped here instead. Man, I should have camped here instead. So that's why I'm walking around. Let's go check this one out. Okay, this has some problems. Mainly the horse manure everywhere. It's just kind of gross. I mean, I guess in a pinch you could camp here if you wanted to, but over there is a possibility as well. I think there's a few spots. My favorite spot so far is that one that we saw first. Okay, and also, let me tell you why I have not taken off my backpack yet. I haven't taken off my backpack yet because I don't want to set my backpack down ever for long periods of time where I'm going to look for a campsite, because I've got food in here. And rodents love food, so you could come back to your backpack and have a real problem. So I'm gonna hoof my backpack around until I find a campsite. I'm gonna be cameraman for a minute because I think Eric should pick out his own campsite. Yeah. So yeah.
I have one more little thing I would like to add to what I look for. This would be an example of, although this is not specifically where I think I should camp, a terrain that I like to camp on. There's like this soft underfoot ground, so it's a little bit like there's dirt here for one, and then there's also a lot of this pine duff that as it drops, it creates like a little layer that provides a little extra cushion, and it's also warmer to camp on this. It's almost like free insulation for your air mattress.
Good point.
Between that, like as opposed to a rock, which would be going to be really cold to sleep on, depending on time of year and if that matters. But yeah, let's go look for some things. So in between these two trees, there's a nice little saddle. So if it does rain, the water will shed off the saddle. It won't pool up in there. It does have some dirt. It's not rock. There's some trees for shade and coverage here. There's a little fire ring as well. So to me, that looks pretty promising. I want to go take a look at that. honestly, I could be perfectly happy with setting my tent up right here. What do you think?
Let's see.
You don't like it?
No, I do like it. I actually like this. This is totally fine. The only thing I don't like is horse poop, but I think everywhere we look there is horse poop. There's horse poop literally right there.
The only other thing is we could maybe look further over there.
Eric is pointing
Could be something over here.
that direction. So, yeah, let's go check it out.
Oh, we got water.
Is there water here?
Yep.
Oh yeah, look at that.
This is probably why there's more mosquitoes.
Yeah, this is
There's a
great.
little boggy area here.
This is also why we carry our backpacks. See, there's water flowing right in here. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, I like this over here. I think I like this a little better, actually.
I think I do too.
Yeah, they can keep their horse poop.
It's away from the horse poop, which is definitely nice.
Oh yeah.
We might get a little bit more breeze here too. That'll knock the mosquitoes down.
Yeah.
There was definitely that tent site right there. We just need 2 tent sites.
Yep. Well, you take that one, and I'll go find one. So Eric, when we shut off the camera and I switched batteries, he's doing a little scoping around for his spot, and nothing is great here. There's a problem with pretty much everything except for that very first spot I showed you. So that might be where I camp, but honestly, I'd like to kind of be with my buddy camping. So it is kind of spread out here, looking for a good spot. So we're gonna come back to him when he's found his spot, and then in the next scene, we'll ask him why he picked it.
So I have officially found a spot. I'm claiming it right here. And the reason why I'm taking this is, one, because it's flat. There's no lumpy grass or mounds from like the picas and the marmots and the little animals that are out here. It's been impacted, so that's part of why it's also flat here. I'm nearby to some trees and to some spots where I can sit. I have a trekking pole tent with me, and instead of a freestanding tent, I need to put in stakes in the ground that will provide tension. So I need to find ground that has some soil to it so that I can actually drive in stakes, which is part of why I don't want to be on rocks, even though there's some good looking flat spots, but I think the soil might only be like a 1/4 inch to 1 inch deep there. So I like the views here. I like being able to look around. There's a lot of flat terrain. I'm pretty close to water. I've got some seats. I've got soil to put the tent stakes in. That's my reasoning.
And
And
I'm camping right there. So we're close.
we're close, but not so close that I can smell Dan's farts.
But you will be able to smell all the horse poop that you're camping by. So this was a lot of information. Hopefully it was helpful for you. If you want to know more information, if you want to learn how to set up the tent correctly, if you want to know how to even cook the food, if you want to know how we're going to filter our water, you're going to have to download my backpacking course at danbeckeroutdoors.com. Go check it out. It's an 18 video course. I condensed my 400 videos into 18 videos just for you. I also have a 58-page workbook for you that you can check out as well.
I've gone through the course and I endorse it. It's really good.
We'll see you guys in the next one.